Namaste, Jai Bharat. Structuralism, in its origin by Lev Strauss, is a method of an attempt to understand society as a structure, with the expectation that understanding of a society as a structure can give better understanding or better clarity, etc. That was the purpose of the exercise of doing a structural approach. Subsequently, the Marxists found it convenient to them, so they have rather, in a way, I would say, hijacked structuralism, and they try to look at structure in their own manner, where they made distinctions between substructure and superstructure. And for the Marxists, substructure is the economic structure, and the superstructures are all other things, whatever it is. And substructure rather is static, permanent, and variations in substructure can reflect in variations in the superstructure. Rather, the superstructure depends on the substructure. So, I don't subscribe to the view of economic structure as the substructure, though we have to agree to the point that economic structure is very important to a society. But that alone is the economic structure can't really make a society strong. And if a society is not strong, then these things wouldn't make any much serious difference. What really constitutes the strength of society is what the Rigveda says, the unity, togetherness of the people. That should be the substructure. And once this togetherness is solid, if the unity is perfect, other things will automatically follow. Anyway, the point which I am trying to talk about as economic aspect of a society, you see, we have many states in the Union of Bharat, many states, and not all states can be economically independent, where these states should have economic independence. The state should have economic independence. I mean, they have semi-autonomous rule they have. It's not a federal system in the real sense of the term, but it's something akin to a flexible kind of federal system. And if a state has its own economic resources to make itself strong, then it will convey a considerable amount of flexibility in executing their programs and plans and everything. Now, there are many states in our nation which are otherwise not very economically independent because of their geographical positions, their small stature, etc., for various reasons. But then, states like Kerala, with all the available resources, natural resources, and the expertise of its people, cannot afford to be economically dependent on other people. But that is the case, really. They are economically heavily dependent on the government of Bharat. They take loans and etc. and do all kinds of gimmicks to get money loan. You know why this is? Because it is not that they don't have infrastructure. It is not that they don't have resources. It is not that they don't have expert people working. It's not that they don't have people who are capable of working. They have everything. But they don't do it because of their communist inclined rights consciousness idiosyncrasy. They're conscious of rights, not duties, which we call as kartavya. They're not conscious of duties. They just want right. From that, subsequently what happened is the people have been fed with the thoughts of freebies, subsidies and things like that. What happens is that no one will go to put an industry or something like that in Kerala, because if he is sensible, he will understand that the third day he will have to close it. The officers, the government officers do not have cooperation. They don't work in tandem. You have to go to 100 people 100 times for different things, and this kind of these problems on the one hand. Then the trade unionism is at this zenith, and suddenly the unions will come and start demanding. And if you are an entrepreneur, you are automatically a bourgeoisie. Now that is the attitude. As a result, nothing really happens. The state is unable to create their own revenue. No one thinks in future terms of creating a revenue for the state, and until revenue is created by corporates, industries, now this situation will continue. You will have to go around with begging bowl to whoever agency, whatever agencies, and whatever gimmicks you make, whether it is the organization, I think it's an organization which should be called as an organization, KIFBI, which is money borrowing agency, and many other things. They have this masala bond and this thing and that thing, where they sell bond and take money, and this kind of hardship and struggle on the one hand. And on the other hand, the government doesn't just bother about spending money, because it's not their money which they make, is they always borrow and spend it to their nose. And they don't bother, because tomorrow I won't be here. Somebody else will have to pay back, so they are not responsible. This ideal situation should be such a place with such a lot of resources in every aspect. They have resources in every aspect, including the personal people. But the two things which need to be corrected is the employees of the state government and other employees should work in tandem with other departments, all other departments. There should be coordination, and the unionism should be nullified, and welfare of the workers should otherwise be guaranteed, not through the unions. The union leaders are union leaders, but they are not workers. They don't do anything. They don't earn one pay by way of the work. There may be hardly any union leader who is also a worker. Hardly anybody maybe. But otherwise all the top leaders are just armchair Marxists, armchair socialists. They do nothing. They sit and give lecture. It's a very pathetic situation. The state is always bankrupt. Always bankrupt. I do not know how much is the loan. They have huge loan. It was told to me. I'm not sure. I don't know. One can find out. The statistics are available. Must be also available. One can find out what kind of debt they are in, and how the debt grows from past given years to the present time. What is the rate of growth of debt? All those things are available. Statistics are available. However, they try to eyewash the situation through giving statistics. The Marxists are very experts in providing statistics to mislead people. They give statistics. This, that. So, but nonetheless, the point is that the state is not autonomous. They don't have solid economic infrastructure. Though I don't personally believe that economic structure shall be substructure, but economic structure is needed for their activities. It gives them freedom. They don't have. They thrive on borrowed money, and it's always a pain for I think for is what I think. All such a situation is the pain for the central government. They always ask provide. Not that they cannot create, but they are incapable of making revenues because of the many agencies and many kind of wrong functioning, wrong thinking, wrong political views, etc., based on the so-called Marxism. They should understand what is obsolete should be treated as obsolete. Certain things should be thrown out. So all this, not having coordination with the government officers is one thing, and the union activism is another thing. And interestingly, they also the headload workers, it seems, they will charge you for you carrying your luggage from your vehicle to your home. They will say that we are supposed to get it. It's our right, no matter who carries the load, but we should get our share, and they demand huge amount. tens of thousands of rupees, it seems they ask. This I have no direct experience, I'm not sure, but this is what I come to know. Such a phenomenon. I think the court has intervened several times, but nothing really happens. The law enforcing agency is one with all these people. It will cause harm. Anyway, ideally, every state should be economically autonomous. Every state in the nation should be economically self-sufficient. Every state in the Union of Bharat should try to be economically independent, at least by doing some work, by generating revenue, in whichever manner their geography and their policy permits them. Then it's natural that the nation becomes very, very powerful economically, which is needed. Though the real strength shall lie in unity, but economic strength, it gives you a lot of freedom. Economic freedom is very important. You are not under restrictions. So every state should plan in such a way. I think many of our states are economically independent. Many of them, they do work. They create revenue and they facilitate this corporate people and factories and etc. But the communists, the masses would call them as bourgeoisie. How will they go there to put a Boeing factory in Kerala? The Boeing factories, I think, coming in Vadodara. But will somebody put it in Kerala? That will be suicide. Anyway, it's time for people to think. Ideally, that every portion of this nation, every state should be economically self-sufficient. They should look at their resources and do things in such a manner that they will be economically free, which will in the long run or subsequently make our nation further free apart from our unity. Till we meet again, Namaste, Jai Bharat, Jai Shri Ram.